Hello everyone! I've been experimenting with making a shadow box Christmas card which could also act as a standalone LED lit Christmas decoration, and having worked my way through it, thought that some of you might be interested in doing the same. I cut out 5 pieces of white cardstock, each 5 by 7 inches or 13 by 18 centimeters, and then taking my nested circles and D-shaped dies, I cut centrally holes which gradually increased in size as I approached the front of the card. I also cut out a 9 centimeter circle in black card. I had decided to use the nativity scene for my card and cut those out using a small nativity scene die and also a silhouette of Bethlehem and a big star. Working from back to front, I firstly covered the circular cutout bit of the white card with the black circle I'd cut out earlier, before placing the star, the Bethlehem skyline, Mary, Joseph and baby Jesus to start my scene. Working my way forward with each card, I carefully checked the scene one on top of the other to make sure that when my 3D effect came in, that my nativity scene would look effective. Once I'd done that, I left the top card undecorated at this stage so I could decide exactly how I wanted it to be later. Because this is a card, I decided to make concertina sides so that it could be pressed reasonably flat for transport. I made each side 13 centimeters by 10, scoring and then folding at 1 centimeter intervals before sticking one fold on each side to the back piece of the card. The next thing to do is to make a shallow light box to hold the LEDs, so I cut out a piece of white cardstock 18 centimeters by 25 and scored it firstly 2 centimeters from the edge and then 3 centimeters from the edge on all sides. Having done that, I then cut out the corners, leaving tabs so that when I folded it into its box shape, they could be used to stick it in place. Once I'd folded it, it gave a box that was 1 centimeter high with 2 centimeter folds forming margins on the inside. Of course, as it stood, my box being white would let light through, and so I needed to line it with a piece of black card. I made it fractionally smaller than the white card, with just 1 centimeter scoring lines at the edges, and cut the corners out. Using PVA glue, I then stuck the black liner inside the white box before bending the box over and into shape and sticking down the margins. Before I could do any more assembly, I had to make sure that my lighting was now in place. I had a mini string of LED lights, just 10 of them on copper wire, and a flat battery case which held 2 CR2032 button batteries and an on-off switch. To make a little battery case, I took a piece of card which, when folded in half, was nearly as tall as the battery and slightly wider. Folding the 2 sides, I stuck them together but only halfway up. I then took a narrower but longer piece of card, embossed it so that I could make a decorative sleeve to go round the battery case and hold the battery firmly in place without taking up too much room. I stuck the sleeve both to the folded battery case and also to the back of the card so it was held firmly. With a sharp probe, I made a hole through the back of the box so I could feed the LED lights through, leaving the battery in its new case. Whilst the box was drying, I took my sharp probe and made lots of tiny holes in the sky on the back piece of my card. Turning the dry box over to the front again, I stuck some silver paper on the back to form a reflective surface to send the LED lights through the holes when my card was assembled. I cut a piece of black card to fit the top of the box, cutting a circle out from it the size of the back piece. Whilst most of the LEDs would be on the silver paper, I did want some to come forward between the first 2 or 3 inserts of the card itself. To do that, I made a hole with my probe through the back piece of the cards and also at the same level through the first 2 inserts, keeping it low so that the wiring was not going to be seen. Taping the LED lights in place and making sure there was enough wire for when I concertinaed up my card. It was only when all this was done that I could stick my light box onto the back of the card, making sure it was firmly glued. With that done, I turned my attention to the front of the card, adding each insert one at a time and sticking them in place on the concertina sides. It was at this stage I decorated the top piece of my card using the camel and the donkey, some decorative tree and a stitched circle trim. All that remained then was to make sure that the card could stand upright, which it did, so I'd got the balance of the battery right, to turn on the lights and enjoy the twinkling of the stars in the sky and the lights of the Nativity itself. I hope you've enjoyed my little excursion through my card stroke decoration, and if you want a bit more detail, then do feel free to visit my blog, which you'll find on my website. Thank you for watching, and happy Christmas crafting to you all.